Hi friends, welcome back to Tiny Tuesday. Today we are building what actually used to be one of my favorite styles of homes to build when I was playing Sims 2. This is just a little tiny two-bedroom home with one bathroom. And what I always liked about it was that the half wall really helped define out the kitchen, and it was still so open, and I just really loved that whole look of what they had in The Sims 2, and it looks so beautiful. And I thought about recreating it here, and that's what I decided to do today. So right now we are off to roofing this house, and I was kind of toying with different ways I wanted to roof this. I knew the standard way, and so I'm tinkering around with it, and I left this part in because roofs can be very finicky. So you kind of have to play with it a little bit. You saw me adjust some heights down, and you're going to see me playing a little bit more with this roof. By just doing these few little simple roof pieces, it really kind of brings it all together. I eventually add on an actual porch to this house. It's going to have a front and a back porch to it with some pretty little steps leading up, and I kept it very simple. This is completely a base game house, by the way, and we are in the world of Newcrest. This is on the Comfy Cubby lot, which is the 2515 lot in Newcrest, kind of those little tiny lots back there. And this is a tier 3 tiny home. Now, again, if you don't have tiny living, no worries. This is totally a base game home. We are actually building this in a base game world, so you should be able to build this or just plop this down from the gallery if you like. And we should be finishing up here on the roofing here, and I will correct that right there. And we are on to kind of tossing in some windows now. And again, I knew I wanted to keep this as base game as possible. And the first windows I tried, I was like, nah, that's way too blue. Just the wrong shade. I knew I wasn't going to find anything I liked to go with that, but I did like this lighter shade. And it gives a really nice front appearance. So you have that curb appeal to the house, which I really do appreciate. And there were some nice matching windows that I could plop down for the back end of the house, which is very common. You often will see homes with matching windows, just some that have shutters and some that don't. So that's what we got going on here. And yes, I do realize that my window placement is not perfect. Just bear with me. We will get through this together, I promise. Because once we go inside and we start decorating, I actually move the windows just a smidge, and the ones in the by the front door, actually we're going to change those out here, and so that we can have them in a better location. I also tried to find the column that would match for the front of this house, because when you use this particular uh, wallpaper, it, for whatever reason, it does not place the column where you actually need the column. So you have to go in and find some way around it or something to help hide, and basically I stick a tree there so it's not quite as noticeable, but it's still there. It's still, something's wrong. But what are you going to do? It's The Sims. There's no way for me to fix it. I tried to find a column that would match in the right colors. Couldn't find a column that matched. I don't know what to tell you. Blame the Sims team. So we're going to spend some time out here in the front yard, just kind of piddling around with some different landscaping. Um, for me, I like a yard that's pretty low maintenance, and it's not uncommon for me to have, weeds in my garden. Let's just face facts. So we do have some nice things going in here, and The hydrangeas are absolutely lovely. They did a really good job on creating that. And we should be moving inside hopefully soon. Um, all right. Yeah, we're gonna be out here for a few more minutes. I forgot I did more landscaping than what I normally do. So what we're doing here is I like the layering effect that goes in, and I did not take the time to find the nice stones that make the really pretty walking path. But what I did do is I went in and used this lovely uh, stone here that's just in terrain paints so that I could simply just plop them on down. And you'll see that it doesn't take that long in order to do that. It's pretty quick and it gives the appearance of what I kind of wanted to see. I don't know that I'm 100% happy with those, but it will do. I do try to place these two lights here. I do not like that. It just looks a little cluttered at this point. So I go back in just a few minutes and I'm going to change those lights on the porch to just one dangling light. And I do eventually put a dangling light on the back porch as well. It doesn't interfere with the Sims walking. I did test that. So the Sims can get in and move around quite nicely. And basically the front porch and the back porch are very symmetrical. Let's just put it that way. The symmetry is totally there. Yep, and here we go. We're changing out that light. It just wasn't working for me. And at this point, I'm realizing, yep, got to put that mailbox in. And while I'm here, might as well go ahead and drop a trash can down because we know we're going to need that. And so I don't forget it, went ahead and plopped the inside trash can down as well. So all that has now been taken care of. And then I'm going to spend a little more time out here in the yard, kind of piddling around, doing some terrain paint and that sort of thing. And now I'm off to the sides of the yard and the top of the house. I might want to add in on that. I did want to get a little air conditioner, although I have no idea why. Because this is a base game house, I can't put a thermostat on the inside. So that is totally, that air conditioning unit is totally for imagination purposes only if you play this as a base game house. Now, I did add a few little doodads up to the top, and I found a chimney that I actually liked, so I put that up there. Although I do think that chimney's just a wee bit big. It is pretty much lined up where the fireplace is inside the house, and now we're going to fence in the yard. And I do go in eventually and shrink the size of the air conditioning unit down a little bit. This house has a very little backyard to it, and I do kind of fill it up, rather with a lot of stuff. Let's just leave it at that. I wanted to get some stuff in there for just playing, just for kids to come over and play, and then I remembered, you know what, at this lot, right behind the house is a little playground and there's all sorts of stuff over there for the kids. So I started really kind of thinking about who was living in this house because there really wasn't a big backyard. So whoever was going to be here needed to not be so much worried about that. So I do end up getting rid of the monkey bars there and start thinning out some of the items that I'd picked out for the backyard originally, just because, again, we just don't have the space. And I went back and forth with the table, but I knew I wanted a table outside because I knew I also wanted a grill outside. And so these chairs will go away because they don't hook into any of the tables that I tried. So I had to go for a different chair and a different table. But when I thought about this house and what I was going to actually put in it, I was thinking of a grandmother or a grandparent in general who was probably a widow who, their grandbabies may come over periodically, but they've had a good career, they've had a really good life, they've got good memories, and effectively they are just living by themselves, so they didn't need a big house, but they do have some of their hobbies and some of their activities that they really enjoyed and wanted to continue enjoying for many years to come. So I wanted to make sure that there was space for them to do the things that they actually wanted to do. One life space, one life that I don't think that they actually have thought about too much for The Sims in general is the young elder sim, because this is for people who I think are probably in their 50s to 60s. They're at the tail end of their careers. And yes, you could make the argument that these people are true elders. But the thing is that these people, sometimes they've planned accordingly and they might have funds to go travel the world. I have an aunt who does that very thing. Right now she's off in Tokyo on a cruise with her husband, and they're having a blast. And all I can think is that when people have that kind of opportunity, they're not really elders, not the way the game portrays. Yeah, they're probably not going to go doing some really wild, crazy physical activities, but they're not going to be sitting at home. They're not going to be just twiddling their thumbs. They're going to be out at the ball field with their grandbabies. They're going to be doing things and going places and just having the time of their lives before they get to that point where they are true elders and can't physically do these things anymore. So I think one of the things that I would like to see for Sims to bring about is somebody who is really into some of the activities for an elder to actually do, not just to shove them off to retirement land and don't have any activities that they can do. Definitely, yoga's nice. That's a really good activity, but there's a lot of elders out there who are still running and not trying to have a cardiac explosion. So I'd really like to see, again, something for the older generation so that they're not completely left out in the cold. So at this point, we've moved into the house, and as you see, I just got finished furnishing the bathroom. I cut out a great deal of that because it is a small room, and because it is so small, it's very hard to get the camera at the right angles to let you see everything that's being done. I did go for carpet in the bedrooms. I felt like an older person probably would enjoy something softer on their feet, less of a tripping hazard, although there's plenty of rugs that are present. So I guess the tripping hazard really hasn't gone anyplace. And I also wanted to bring in the yellow. I thought that in combination with the warmer, darker colors that were on the walls really kind of helped brighten up the place. We get some really nice curtains up here in just a few moments that help bring in a little bit of additional warmth to the space. And I'm looking for my lamps right now because I really needed some kind of lamp, and I wanted something that was going to fill the space and give a little additional color, something other than just the yellow. And I did find that with a little touches of green, and there'll be a pink rug going in as well. And both of those things together really kind of bring a little more life and vitality to the room. Sorry, my voice is starting to give out. Alrighty, so again, we're gonna add in some color and some frames and such. Did I get rid of the rug? I may have gotten rid of the rug. I think I got rid of the rug. That's what happened. It's not that long ago that I recorded this, so the very fact that it has already left my brain should not surprise anybody. It doesn't surprise me. I did want her to have an office, and here I am adjusting those windows. But I did want her to have an office that would have plenty of things for her to do. So definitely she's got lots of stuff for Logic. We're going to get that painting easel in here. We've got a big old bookcase coming in. And we will have the computer added on here in a minute. And yes, those are career rewards that you can get. The desk and the chair both are career rewards, as well as the artist easel. And the particular bookcase that I'm putting in is also a bonus if you complete to a particular level of the writing career. So these are all some pretty cool things that you can get. And that's pretty much it. We're going to toss down a few chairs for this room, just so we have some place to sit and play chess. But even though that room is tight, you can most certainly get through there without a whole lot of effort. Because I had placed that chimney on top of the house, I wanted to make sure that there was a fireplace inside the house. That is always something very nice to have around. This does end up being the sofa that we stick with, but these particular chairs do not stay. I end up changing those out for a couple of other chairs. I knew I wanted to get some placement furniture down so that as I put in the kitchen, we would be able to know what space I actually needed. And that way I didn't make the kitchen so big that it wouldn't fit. And these are just some nice base game counters. And when I went to put the upper cabinets in, I forgot which ones I'd picked. So I had to delete those and put in some different counters so they all made sense again. And now you can clearly see why I had to make some space there so I didn't use up all of my living room space. And I'm going to put in a half wall here to divide the kitchen and the living room. But I also am going to add in a full wall just on one of those tiles right there in the corner, just so I have a little bit of break between the kitchen and the rest of the house. I knew I wanted to put those upper cabinets in, and they're just going to go on that little L side of the space of the room there, and so they really needed that additional space. And I felt like a wall there, even just a small wall, would help tremendously with that. And we're getting a dining room table in at this point, and I'm getting rid of those chairs now because I know I have the space that I need to do what I want. So there was no need to really keep it. And so at this point, I'm trying to figure out because I've got this one space that really needs kind of a column just there to help define it. I didn't want to put another wall in. I just really wanted to have something that looked nice and served the purpose as a divider. And I think we did okay with that. Now, the wallpaper that you see is going to get edited out quite a bit. And that's mainly because it's a very busy print. And for the entire house, I really felt like that was going to be way too much. And I still feel that way. So we will be adjusting that very soon. And here we are fixing up those cabinets, realizing that we've got the wrong ones and having now to go back in and change them out. I do this all the time with this particular set of cabinetry. I love the bottom, but I'm not as fond of the top. I want the top to be something brighter and richer than what is there, I guess. I don't really know. And we do end up remembering to put in our fire safety because otherwise we will catch the house on fire. I really wanted to put in the big fire, the fire warning system. I forget what it's called. But I wanted that one because it actually will catch if the grill outside catches fire or anything on the lot catches fire. That is particularly important if you have a house that has a room that maybe is there like an attic space or something where you don't really have the ability to get up there, because if lightning strikes, your Sims are not going to be able to get up there to fix it, and you can't put it into build mode. You are kind of stuck. So, all right, so here we go. We finally find the wallpaper that we're going to use, and I opted just to have something as a little bit of a distraction from that really heavy patterned wallpaper. Although I really wanted something that had the crown molding as well as the baseboard. I really felt like that was kind of a needed thing. But I couldn't find anything that I really liked that